Hello, I'm Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, the host of Nifty Business, where we highlight NFTs and explore Web 3.0 as we move from pure speculation to creating real-world value. So Miami is one of my favorite cities for a bunch of reasons, but mainly because when I came to the US from Jamaica, that was the first city that I landed in. That's where we flew into from Jamaica, and that was my contact point with the country. So very interesting things there, not to mention the University of Miami, my favorite football team as far as college goes. And a little side note, did you know that Bob Marley's son actually played football for the University of Miami? Just a little side note there. But of course, the main reason why I'm highlighting Miami for the sake of this podcast is because it is a major player in Web3. Now, everyone knows they have Miami's annual NFT conference, NFT Miami. There's also a Bitcoin conference, but then there's also Miami Coin. A lot of people don't know that Miami has its own token. And then by the end of this year, they're planning to have their own NFT project. So very interesting things are going there. So today we're going to shine a little spotlight on the city of Miami and really highlight some of the things that they're doing. So Miami is very forward thinking. And again, all the reasons why I listed why I love Miami, not to mention is tropical weather. I forgot to mention that part. It is, as far as I know, the only major city in the US that is classified as a tropical city. So that's just a little side note. I gave you two random facts about Miami. But as far as what goes on with Miami and this whole Web3 ecosystem, just very interesting thing. The mayor, Francis Suarez, has been very forward thinking. And a lot of people don't realize, as beautiful as Miami is, we love to see it in the downtown areas. Of course, all the celebrities and palms and just some amazing beaches and some cool things, right? However, most people don't fully realize that Miami-Dade County is one of the poorest counties in all of the U.S. I mean, there is just lots of issues there. And even as far as if you look at just the broad sports network, right? Their universities, their stadiums, their streets, everything is very underfunded simply because the county just does not have the funds to do that. And once you go out of the nice areas that we love to see on TV, especially with the Miami Heat games when they're cruising through the streets, especially when LeBron and all those guys were there with D Wade and everything, they show the better part of Miami. However, if you look at some hip hop videos, you'll definitely see the true Miami, the rough side of Miami, and by far not really the most luxurious city in the world. Now, different things within this Web3 ecosystem that they're trying to do to really revive the city and put it on the map. And as I've said many times, that New York has really had that beacon as being the financial capital of the states, and for many people say even the world, because of course that is where Wall Street is, a lot of the banks and companies, and they're running things out of the city. And even when they're speaking about just corporate greed and everything, they speak about Wall Street. Well, that is in New York. However, New York has been very mean, so to say, not very accepting of Web3, crypto, and NFTs and all this stuff. They've had very restrictive laws. A lot of people that were residents of New York could not open crypto exchange accounts and all sorts of different things, made it just very difficult. And even so, a lot of these apps still do not work in New York. As soon as you put in a New York address or they see that you're located in New York, it just doesn't work. It blocks you out. Or if it asks for your ID, for your KYC, know your customer verification, you have a New York driver's license, guess what? You're not getting on the platform. And that's because I think, anyways, that New York has always been trying to protect Wall Street and its legacy and doesn't want anything to really infringe on that. And Web3, crypto, all of that really seemed like a threat to it. With that said, that is how Miami really overshadowed it with this whole Web3 space. They were very adopting. They opened up their doors and they were welcome to the idea of this. I've even covered it before on various times. I'll mention it that Miami is really trying to be the New York, the new New York, as far as, of course, New York was the New York coming from England, but Miami is trying to be the new New York as far as the financial capital of the states. And they're doing a great job, some very innovative things. Now, a lot of people don't realize that it goes beyond those two conferences. The NFT conference, which, by the way, I'll be attending next year. This is going to be the end of April going into May. I forget the exact dates, but that's going to be coming up. They haven't even really started selling the tickets yet. They've announced the price, put up the webpage, and, well, I'm definitely going. Made my reservations and plans and really started to figure out my arrival. But There's also the Bitcoin conference. And if you Google the Miami Bitcoin Bull, just some cool things there. They basically recreated the Wall Street Bull, except they made it black, just really futuristic looking. And that is the Bitcoin Bull. Just amazing artwork as far as what Miami's trying to do, get on the map. And they definitely caught my eye with that one. Now, there is Miami Coin, which you can actually search the MIA token. And it is really down right now, as with most of crypto, but is an altcoin. And what they did is the city of Miami raised $8 million plus in their coin offering. And the reason what they're trying to do with this is just offset certain things, as I opened up by saying that Miami-Dade County is by far one of the poorest metropolitan areas in the entire country. And it is just has a lot of problems to solve, whether it be crime, hunger, low funding of schools, sports teams, underprivileged youth, drug problems, you name it. There's like everything that you could possibly think of is going on there. So this is just one of the ways that they're trying to really spark growth, creativity, and really empower the citizens. And they even had an issuing so that way basically citizens could own a part of this offering. So if the coin goes up, the city does well, this whole ecosystem of crypto and everything goes up, well, the citizens will also benefit from that. Now, very interesting things are going on there, but definitely, as I said, as with the entire crypto market has gone down. But the thing that really caught my eye, which I didn't even really take note of until recently, was that they have an upcoming NFT project. Now, they're actually waiting for this thing to launch until December after the merge, because it is going to be Ethereum based. And of course, after the merge, it's going to be proof of stake, which we've been covering a lot. The Ethereum merge going from the original proof of work network, meaning that it was computers doing high-powered calculations to verify each of these transactions, that everything was authentic and good to go. Well, it's going over to the proof of stake, meaning that their shareholders, they deposit a certain amount of ETH onto the network, then they could become validators, meaning that they're helping to upkeep the network, and it's going to be randomized who is actually processing what. And as a shareholder or as having a stake in the network, it's going to drive down the gas costs, the inefficiencies, and all those things, all the criticisms as far as the environmental impact and all of that should be solved in this update. And trust me, there'll be plenty of content about that as we approach that date. They've recently done the last test to see if that merger could be all good, and it seems like everything went well. But of course, this has never been done before, and it is the biggest event in crypto that has ever happened since this industry has begun. I mean, that is a massive amount of data and a massive amount of change going to be taking place, and it has never been done before. So who knows how this is going to turn out? So it's going to be very interesting, and definitely it's going to be something that I cover in the future even further. But this is going to be launched once that merge happens. The new quote unquote network is where this NFT project is going to be listed. And it is very interesting. Really caught my attention. So for this, I'm going to go to a couple places to really gather some information and really summarize what's going on here. Of course, there's a great Decrypt article, which I will put in the show notes, and also the press release from the city of Miami itself. So this is where I'm going to pull a lot of this information from in case you want to read the full outline, dive into this thing really deeply. Just look in the show notes. So the city of Miami is partnering with Time Magazine, which is a publisher, obviously, and MasterCard and Salesforce to make this NFT project happen on the Ethereum blockchain. If that doesn't catch your attention, I don't know what is, because that is some big names, some legacy names. Now, Time Magazine, we know they've been in this NFT space for quite a while now, and even going forward, they're going to have all of their new subscriptions and everything through the blockchain technology and all of this. Their Discord is very vibrant, all those covers. They have built a real community up there within Web3. It's very interesting what's going on over there. And this 100-year-old company has really invented itself within the last couple of years and really has set itself up to last another 100 years. And publishing is definitely having some major issues, but Time Magazine is figuring out how to not only bridge this whole digital world with the print world, but also this blockchain Web3 world and set themselves up for the future. So they're part of this. And of course, they have all that experience of doing their own projects and things that they're doing. So that's what they're bringing to this project. Now, Salesforce will manage the minting process of everything. They're rolling out a new NFT crowd platform. And if you're not familiar with Salesforce, That is the company that really made the whole cloud concept a thing, right? Salesforce had all of their software up in the cloud, if you will, up on servers that people would connect to on the internet. And then all these companies that were using their software would download and sync and all the things that we take for granted as just being normal today. Well, when Salesforce rolled out this idea, everyone said it was absolutely crazy. Their CEO and founder was a madman. People don't really interact with the internet that way. Software is something that you download and you put on a computer, whether it be a disk or you pull it straight from the internet and it's living on a server locally. And this whole idea of having quote unquote cloud computing was all new, and everyone said this was going to fail. Well, fast forward 10, 15, 20 years, and that is the standard now. Everything is pretty much in the cloud, and we don't even really use that phrase anymore as to really explaining. We just assume software is up there, whether it is your Google Photos, your iPhone photos and backups, all that stuff is just up there, and Salesforce is the one that really pioneered this. Well, they're doing this whole cloud platform with the NFT projects, and that's what they're responsible for, the minting process. So very interesting to see how that goes. Their whole goal is to set up this whole thing to partner with brands to allow minting and selling of NFTs, right? So that is interesting. Probably could be its own episode altogether. Salesforce, big name in the whole software cloud industry, is going to be partnering with brands. Keep your eye on that one. But as far as this project itself, the actual art is going to be used or created by 56 artists from Miami. Now, why 56 is because the city area is actually 56 square miles. Very interesting. Didn't even realize Miami was that big, but that is what they said in their press release. So they're going to have that. The artwork's going to have just diversity and everything, because that's one of the cool things about not just only metropolitan areas, but Miami in specific, because Miami is just very vibrant. It's tropical. There is a strong Hispanic community. In certain areas, it is like driving into Havana. I mean, the signs, everything is in complete Spanish. Absolutely love it. By the way, if you've ever had Cuban coffee, if you're a coffee person, Cuban coffee, very interesting. Now, that is a type of coffee that's going to put hair on your chest. It is very strong. They put it in these little cups. And I remember the first time I got it was in Miami. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I got this little cup and I was like, what? This little itty bitty thing? Well, let me tell you, I don't think I can handle it anymore. So that little cup packs a lot of punch, and it's more like an espresso. But anyways, very interesting things there. Their culture, all the food, the different touch points. A lot of people that are coming in from Latin America, not just Cuba, they're landing in Miami. And so there's a cultural hub. And as I said, when I came from Jamaica, that is a place that we went through, Miami, and it was just a cultural hub. Although I never lived in Miami, it was always one of my favorite U.S. cities. And anytime I go there, I love the food, the music, and just the culture, just everything. This is a very vibrant city. And if you watch even like the old Miami Vice and any kind of show, you can see there's colors. There's just a lot of flavor and excitement. It's like neon lights, but it's tropical. It's just very cool, right? So there's a lot going on there. So they're going to depict this in the art. I mean, there's a lot to pull from. So 56 artists, I think that's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see the art. So all the details for that will definitely be announced in the upcoming months and weeks, and just some amazing things are going on there. And I just really am excited to see what Miami's doing, especially with this mayor, Suarez. I hopefully that he stays there for a while, really keeps this thing going, or whoever comes after him will continue to build on what's going on there. Because even that Miami coin, it is probably one of the most interesting things that I've seen from a metropolitan area, what they're doing. The citizens that actually own this, they get Bitcoin yields, because we're trying to push this whole Web3 thing. And a lot of people will even say that if it is not in Bitcoin, it is not real gains or anything of that nature. So even the people that are flipping ETH and doing all the stuff with altcoins and everything, yes, there are their ETH maxis and what have you, but the Bitcoin maxis, the ones that really are hardcore, even them that do appreciate the NFT space and other coins and what have you, they put their yields back into Bitcoin. So the city is offering that as a very cool thing. And I think that is just very interesting. They're doing a lot of things to incorporate cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin in particular, into this stuff. And I think that is just great that they're giving their citizens an opportunity for better, because as I opened up this thing by saying that Miami is definitely on hard times, beautiful city, beautiful people, beautiful culture, but definitely there is not a lot of money to go around in that place. And during these times, everyone's feeling the clamp right now. And, you know, Miami has really been like that for decades. I mean, even during the best of best times when everything was going up, Miami was still having some rough times. So with that said, I am highly encouraging you to just keep an eye on Miami, what's going on there. And if you will be at NFT Miami, just look forward to that. I'm definitely going to be there. I don't know if that's going to be my first in real life NFT event, but it is definitely on my calendar as something that I'll be at. And maybe I'll end up at something else before that. But I think it'd be very fitting that I'll be coming back up, most likely from Jamaica, to go to this conference in Miami. So what are your thoughts about all of this? City coins, NFTs for the city, the conferences, everything that Miami is doing. Did you know about half of this stuff? And what are your thoughts of that? Love to hear what you're thinking. Please feel free to reach out to me at Tropic Vibes on Twitter. As usual, I just want to thank you for taking time to listen to this as we're learning and building Web3 together. So until next time, later. The Nifty Business Arrow is not investment advice. It provides insights and information within the space. As with anything, please do your own research before making a decision whether you're making an investment or a purchase.